is no better victory except the one you give. There is no better breakthrough except the one you give. There is no better healing except the one you give. Hey.
Come and have your way as we praise your name.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the exclusive interview with Fathead's mother, Miss Mavis Williams. And of course, I'm blessed with his little sister, Kia. Welcome to Big Stone Television.
Thank you for having me.
Kia, your brother is famous, known worldwide as Fathead. What was Vernon Sylvester Renford like to you growing up before you became this giant of an artist?
My brother, like you know, we called Ian, is one of my first memories because he died when I was very young.
How old were you at the time?
5.
5 years old?
Yes.
Okay.
But one of my first memories at that age is him picking me up outside, walking towards me, and I'm just he's a giant to me, but him lifting me up and holding me and taking me inside the house. But my mother always told me that I was his favorite because both of us had fat heads, both of us had big heads. And he always grabbed my chin. So, you know, those type of things I remember about my brother, yeah.
Okay. So you was actually 5 years old when he passed away as well.
Yes.
Could you understand what was happening around you? You seeing your brother one day, and the next day you're not seeing your brother. Tell us from a 5-year-old perspective. Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to bear with me because this happened 37 years ago. She was only 5 years old. And this is very important for you to pay attention to this interview, and if you know anything that can bring some closure to this case, feel free to get in touch with the police, okay? Not seeing your brother again, what went through your mind?
Well, like I said, he is a part of some of those very early memories for me. And I do remember his funeral. So what I recall is that it was very small, it was very intimate, family only, in the parlor of the funeral home. And I remember seeing him in the casket and just looking up at everybody because I was the youngest, small. I see everybody very sad, very much mourning of my brother. And I just recall him, as we walked into the funeral home, his body was inside of a small room in here, and really there was just me, my mom, my siblings. It was very, very small. Nobody, no fans and nothing like that. Yeah.
So it was a private funeral?
Very private funeral, yes.
Wow.
In Belle in Florida.
Wow. What has life been like since for you? You've grown up now, mature, reflecting what could have been in terms of your brother's career. What would you have expected or wanted for Fathead?
You know, honestly, I didn't realize how big he was until my son Kai, I started telling him about him because both of their birthdays are in March. And a few years prior to that, though, maybe in my 20s, early 20s, I tried to initiate a process to see how we can open this back up, how we can figure out what happened, but it just was so much confusion, and nothing ever came of it. But like I said, recently, introducing my son to his music and asking questions on like Alexa, these things, and saying, wait, Alexa know about my brother? So those things was very surprising to me. Then I started looking up. He's all over the internet. You know, the internet wasn't around when he was here. So it made me realize that, you know, he was bigger than we knew. Which makes me very proud because I know he was making a big influence on the world. I know if my brother was still here, because of him being a entrepreneur and a pioneer in dancehall music, that he would be someone who would be honored by the artists that are coming up under him, because he created a sound that nobody else had. And when I listen to his music now, because when growing up we never really heard his music, honestly, because it was, my mom was very hurt, you know, so those, we didn't
She
really
didn't
play
play it
music.
around the house, yes.
No. So just listening to his music and hearing his voice, and I'm just like, wow, that's my brother right there. He would have been
A giant.
tremendous, yes.
Of course. You ever thought about starting a foundation in his honor so that his name can live on, you know, like the Fathead Foundation? And you could probably help budding young artists, or it has to do with academics or whatever the situation, or ever you wanted to flow. You ever thought of that?
I haven't, but that is a very good idea, because I want his name to definitely live on, besides being underneath Yellow Man, which it seems to always be tagged and connected to. He is an artist independently as himself. He is one person as himself. So that would be a very good idea, to open up a foundation or have that type of connection for him.
I'm very happy that we're having this discussion to further cement his name in history, to let the world know that Fathead is not just an artist that did some collaboration with Yellowman, but independently, he's an artist all by himself.
Right.
And he has a family, he has next of kins, he has a foundation, so the world will always remember Fathead. In parting, what would you want to say to his son in continuing the legacy of his famous father?
Let me tell you about his son first. Antonio is wonderful. I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's okay.
He is such a kind, loving person, and he embraced my children so much. We're very close. We're very close. He coaches my children in basketball. We never lost contact with him after his father died. Not as if, you know, sometimes the mother might, or the other parent was in might try to take that child away and go on about their business, but that wasn't the case. We always kept him close.
Yes. Did you have dialogue with Antonio about his father from time to time?
Yes, yes.
What was his demeanor like? What was his?
He gets very depressed sometimes because he wishes that he knew him. I wish he had memories of him, but keep a photo of him close by. He wears a photo of him on his neck, you know, and he loves his father very much. You know?
So if Antonio is what, 38, he would have been about 1 year old when he passed away.
1 or 2, something.
So he passed away very, very young.
Yes.
Antonio, well, this is Big Stone talking to you. Your father, over the short span of life, 24 years old, have created such an impact in dancehall music that dancehall music could never be written without your father. And I'm very happy that you sought music and you want to follow through the footsteps of your father. Because up in Zion, your father would be very proud of you. Anything that I can do to help to further push your music, feel free to reach out to Big Stone. It will be an honor to further enhance the career of Fathead. Tell us about your personal little feelings about your brother, about the cars and the cops and the robbers.
My brother, personally, I think that he had a big impact on our family. He was like a piece of glue, a stitch.
Yes,
you know?
he kept the family together.
He was very important stitching the fabric. And when he passed away, it definitely changed the dynamics of the family.
Most definitely.
You know, and there wasn't honestly much effort to figure out what really happened, because we really didn't know what to do, you know? So everybody was just lost, not really knowing what direction to turn in. So it's very it doesn't end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The pain of losing him doesn't
Right.
end. Even as a young child, knowing that I don't feel it as much as my mother, that's her child, like, I can never feel it how she feels it. But I still see it and can, from her energy, feel that feeling that she feels, you know? So,
And you need closure, you know.
yeah, that's really it.
You know, to lose a loved one like that, you know, especially someone who wasn't sick,
Right.
you know what I mean? It goes and come every day, you know. Like I was talking to Mavis and she said she would have preferred if he had died of some sickness or some illness, then she could have understand that her son is not here based on these conditions. But for someone to just take his life and she don't know, the family don't know, there are rumors being spread. Other people are saying other things. We don't even want to call their name, but they know themselves. And I think that if you really don't know the truth behind a story, you should keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
You should not go out there and spread propaganda or false rumors, because remember, he still has a family. He still has loved ones. So when a person who really don't know, because if you know the truth, you would have called the police. If you know so much as you say you know, you would have called the police. So I personally don't like when people spread propaganda and
Yeah.
rumors and
There's a lot of
lies.
a lot of false
You know.
information. As we were doing our research in this last few months,
Yes.
even like on the Wikipedia, I mean, he has so much about himself online, but mixed information, misinformation about his lifestyle, when in fact he was a humanitarian, somebody who always tried to help other people. And some emphasize that, but those who were supposed to be close to him, for whatever reason, decide to discredit him and to diminish his name, almost like erasing him off the earth for their own profiting gain. His music's still playing all the time. I mean, I heard his song playing yesterday at a football game in St. Andrews. Somebody was driving a car and they was playing his music. My son said, "Well, that's not Young." They was playing his music yesterday. The song by Sister Nancy, Bam Bam,
Yes.
that's my brother's song. And when I look up the story about how Sister Nancy come up with the song, she says in an article that she heard my brother in the studio singing the song. The other man was there too. And she just remake the song into her own. Instead of saying man, she changed it to woman.
Yeah.
You know, and those things like that, you know, that's, I'm sorry if I have to call out the name like that, or
Yeah, I
but
understand.
if you go to Spotify and look my brother's name up, that's the first song that showed Bam Bam, that's his song. But he gets no credit, no royalties, no nothing. And it's very disheartening.
Of course, it hurts. Remember that he has a family. These things, if you look at the legacy of a Bob Marley or Peter Tosh and so on, you'll see that these legacy lives forever. And if Fathead went into the studio, wrote these songs and wrote these lyrics and so on, he should be compensated for it. I mean, there's more than enough for everybody. And again, my sincerest of condolences to you.
Thank you.
You're very strong. Thank you for talking to me
Yes, thank
under
you.
the circumstances, and better must come.
Yes, sir.
And you will get closure, because there is such a thing as karma. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from Fathead's little sister, Kia.